Welcome to the
Noofakinpodcast
with your host Jay Rudy
and Mr. Third Strike here, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got the background. Let's see.
I forgot you in the
What
background.
the hell else we got, man? So we got a special guest in the background.
Special guest Jazz.
Okay.
Hi everyone.
We out here. First off, how y'all feeling?
Feeling blessed and highly favored. You know what I mean? I can't complain. Even if I could, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I'm on a high right now, man.
Okay.
You?
Life going good.
Okay. You gotta be specific.
Life going good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't complain.
Alright. Let it hear.
How you feeling, Jazz?
I'm good. I'm just here with the crazy crew and very grateful to be here in their presence and ready to get this episode started.
No faking.
No faking.
All right.
So,
go ahead.
Nah, so I was watching this video and it was kind of crazy the way it was broke down. And it's funny because we spoke on the matter a little bit, maybe a lot of episodes back.
Yeah.
But pretty much the scenario is, after I want to say 29 years of marriage, a husband found out that his wife was cheating on him by going through her, like he went through her phone, etc. But what made the story crazy, because infidelity happens.
Yeah.
But what made the story crazy is the way he found out is that he peeped through like different messages that his daughters, one 26 and the other one like 23 or 24, was covering for the mom, for like they knew. And
they raising cheaters.
right, so when he found out, he snapped on the wife, but then he texted one of the daughters. He was like, "Oh, like this betrayal was crazy. Like I would have never expected y'all to do me like that, etc." And that was the I think the older daughter, but the younger daughter is a girl mom. Like she ride or die for her mother.
The older daughter was for the mom, and the younger daughter was like on his side.
Yeah. So what made it crazy was when he texted the daughter that was like rocking for the mom. The daughter had the audacity to say, "I don't think you should throw away 29 years of marriage over one little mistake." And so he pretty much sent her a message. Like he sent his daughter a message, like expressed how he felt. He said, "Don't contact me. I'm gonna contact you." The daughter didn't respond, but the mother texted him saying, "Oh, I don't think you should. You could be upset at me, but I don't think you should be upset at the kids."
Yeah.
And it's like, as a father, since we're all men here who want to have children, what do you do in that situation?
I'm out of pocket if I cut everybody off. I'm out of pocket.
I think so.
I think
I'm out of pocket.
I think what he doing now is just like getting space from them. Like he needs time from them to heal, cause the whole family is involved at that point, you know. So my follow-up question would be like, I'm gonna answer, but my follow-up question would be like, Jazz, if you was cheating, would you include everybody in there, like your kids?
No one would ever know. I would never involve the kids. I think it's very selfish. If you're going to do something like that, and you involve the whole family, you're not even thinking about your children. And then it's a generational trauma too, right? So now your daughter may grow up and now she wants to cheat on her husband, and then the cycle just continues. I think my question though would be too after is, how long did this affair go on?
It probably was going on for a long time, because then they was older. I think she was 49, he was 50. So he found out later.
He found out 29 years later.
Later on his lifetime, basically.
They were married for 29 years.
Yeah.
That's not green.
And the daughters, they don't even take, especially the older one, she don't even take it serious because she said a simple mistake. It's not just a simple mistake. You feel me? I think she was cheating with somebody she was working with. As a man, I think that would be like, that'll take time to heal.
The older one, 26.
I think one like.
The other they 20. Both of them in their 20s.
Both of them in the 20s. And the younger one was like a girl's dad too. Like she really liked her dad. She was kind of crushed by it that she betrayed him, but she went along and did it anyway. So it's like, at that point, like, man, I don't know, man. I can't trust nobody in my family.
Yeah. So am I really out of pocket if I cut everybody off though? Like, it's just like there's no. If y'all think about it, bro, like there's no coming back from that betrayal. Like, how do you trust your kids at that point anymore? There's no coming back from that. The wife already grits, but then like my kids got involved and they went along with it. Like they did. At no point did they think to be like, yo, like even send me a warning sign or anything.
Question. I remember we asked this before. So what's the difference between you catching your parents cheating and not saying anything because you like that's between them versus that? That's still betrayal though.
It's two different levels, right?
Because you help it?
No, so one is active, one is passive, right? One is, this is grown folk business, I'm gonna stay out of it. The other one is, I'm actively involved in it, bro. Because like, yes, like even if we bring it into the court of law, right? You know the bystander effect. You in compliance by not acting, right? There's different levels. Like if I see something happen and I'm on my business and I don't say nothing, I may or may not be involved because I didn't say nothing.
But you'll still be an accomplice. Just I'm saying if you witness a murder, you don't say nothing. You're an accomplice because you ain't say nothing.
But look,
that's still kind of like
this lie been going on for 29 years.
Well, so we don't know if it was 29.
We don't know how long it's been going on for.
Yeah,
but he just found out recently that
he found out after they've been together for 29 years.
But it's kind of like the same thing.
I hear you, but look, there's two different ways. One is like, you probably conflicted, you don't know what to do in the situation, right? So you can even plead ignorance, like, I didn't know what to do. Both of y'all, my parents, I love both of y'all, I'm gonna stay out of it.
But when you be like, you knew? Especially if that was your favorite daughter
but if I'm being real,
you wouldn't care. You would be like,
I'm not holding that against you. I'm not holding that against you.
I agree.
Because, like, there's certain situations, yeah, you knew, but like you out with both, like we both your parents. I don't want to put you in a situation where you have to pick a side. That's green, because either way you're gonna lose the relationship with one parent if you pick a side. Because now you snitched on your mom.
But you might end up like that either way though. What you mean, John?
Nah, bro. Because by actively acting, fam, you pick your side.
But if you see your one of your parents is cheating, you don't say nothing. What's gonna happen?
Well, here's the thing.
You want to say nothing?
No, I wouldn't. Here's the thing, right? I think oftentimes a cheater is normally a manipulator. So with a child being, I imagine the 26-year-old was much younger back then. The mom probably manipulated her into saying, oh, well, daddy's not doing this or daddy's not doing that. And, got her to almost be on her side. So I think that, again, it's very selfish. The whole thing is selfish because, the kid rocks with both. But I don't think that the father should. Yes, he may need some space, but cutting them off for the rest of their lives is not okay. He needs to heal and seek God.
And
Two things. So the daughter, however old the daughter is, she's already have her fair dealing with men at the same time too. So she know how, like in this age, like, more females are gearing towards like, oh, men ain't this, men ain't that, all that. So she's already probably feeling that way. But in another sentence is like, come on, like, if I've been a good dad to you, I've been taking care of business, doing what I need to do, and then you go and say, oh, I think you shouldn't cut mom off for this little mistake. That's already choosing a side.
No, they was covering it up. She already done. Side been chosen them.
So it's like
side been chosen.
Like,
so
in that case, though, would you be mature enough to like not fault the kids?
No, because
they the one that didn't cheat.
They didn't
cheat.
You covered it up. You grits.
Like they might be manipulated.
I don't care. You chose a side.
So that's the whole point. At some point, like Jackson, you gotta forgive them. Like
at the age they at right now,
put the Christian side. Put it on the Christian perspective. You gotta forgive them.
But the problem with
citizen.
people think forgiveness mean I put myself back in the situation.
But they your blood, though.
Agree.
What the but what does that mean?
But your children, that's a little different.
What does that
Children's
mean?
different.
Children,
you gotta understand that, like, there's no.
I could forgive you. I can have no malice in my heart towards you, but I'm not putting myself.
So you wouldn't show them love no more?
What is love? What is showing love?
How do we come back? From
I don't have to care for you. You're an adult.
Care for them, like taking care for them. You still their parents though.
No, you're an adult.
Y'all say, all right, I forgive, but
so what are you doing?
Them off. Y'all said I forgive, but I'll be hurt at first, like I said.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I gotta work to that position to get to forgive.
What would that look like though? What would working toward that?
Then they still my kids, like still showing them love, like they're my kids, taking care of them like they're my kids.
Can we just talk about prayer though first?
Wait, well, y'all saying that too. Would y'all walk them down the aisle when they get married, or y'all be like, nah? If they come,
there's
if they actually, that's what I said. They said, "You my dad. Are you?
I'd
get married.
I'd attend the wedding, but I wouldn't walk them down the aisle."
You see,
that's crazy.
Is that forgiveness, though?
I wouldn't even attend.
I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy. That's crazy.
No, I'm saying, like, if I'm not walking them down the aisle, I'm not attending.
But it's that forgiveness, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you actually come back?
No, I could forgive you, and I don't want no dealings.
But is that? I get that, right? Like, I get you don't have to rekindle with people, but I think that's normal people. When it's your children, you never have to speak to the ex-wife again. But I think when it's your children, the parents created that environment. It wasn't just the mom. There was something that led to the breakdown of that relationship. I don't care what anyone says.
Don't
when one partner
now.
steps out, no, I'm not blaming the guy. I promise. And it was her. That was her. She has a character flaw for cheating on him, right? She could have handled it a different way. Baby, let's go to counseling. Let's do something. But I think those two created whatever dynamic that they did to lead to the breakdown of that relationship.
So the only reason I don't agree with that is because I don't. One thing that I don't sit well with me in a lot of situations is people always try to bring a situation. Oh yes, I did this, but this is the fact. No, sometimes one person was just wrong.
Just green.
No, and that's true.
Period.
Agree.
And they've been that person. That's another thing. They just been hiding it so well
that nobody's seen it.
Like, but they've been that person. Someone that's green is always gonna come out green.
Because
like, at the end of the day.
one thing.
But why y'all punishing the child though?
It's
what do you mean the child?
You were saying one thing. What?
But one thing I learned, bro, at the end of the day, you can do everything right and still get stabbed in the back. So, but you have to, as you get older and you learn, sometimes it was out of my control.
1,000%.
It don't matter what I did, this still was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even want to bring it, the father was doing, because he could have been a good dad, a good father, but he probably was at work a little bit too much and the mom had enough time.
Don't get me wrong. Manipulation is a big thing, but at some point or at some age, like if I'm raising y'all the right way, if I'm like raising y'all the right way to know wrong from right, you know wrong from right. Like you keeping this secret is dead wrong. Like, so it comes to a point where it's like how do we establish that trust again? I can't establish that trust with my kids anymore.
So from your point, I know he said he forgiven them. Are you forgiving them?
I don't think I'm forgiving them. Like that's gonna be
everybody off.
That's no faking right there. That's no faking.
So you cutting everybody off. You cutting everybody off and starting a new family and stuff.
It's not even starting a new family. I don't even think I'll start a new family. I don't even know what I'll do at that point, because it's like.
So you say you forgiving them?
Me, I have, and the forgiveness is not for them. It's for me. It's for my salvation, because I understand.
But is that forgiving if you can't walk them down the aisle as your daughters?
Is it?
Yes.
It's a different forgiveness.
Why is it not? Because let me show you. You know what's not forgiveness? If I look at them with no malice in my heart.
Don't get me wrong.
It takes time.
I forgive.
But people say that all the time. Like, you could look at people with no malice in your. If you cut them off completely, like the Jews, they'll be like, I wash my hand. No, they be like, you dead to me. I wash my hand. I'm saying somebody that's dead to you, they don't bring no emotion, but that's not forgiveness.
Don't get me wrong, bro. Like, to forgive the wife, that's a different question. Like, I don't think I would forgive the wife, but
human is human.
My kids. Like I watch you from a baby to your adult age, and you like you kept that from me.
They're children. Yeah. They're still growing.
They're grown ups.
But I don't think that's for that. That's not for
if I can go to lunch with you, if I can converse with you, if I can be in the same room with you, if I can talk with you.
Then what's the point of you not walking them down as their father?
I don't want to.
So if they didn't do that, if they didn't do that, would you walk them down the aisle? Hold on. If they didn't do that, would you walk them down the aisle?
Yeah.
All right, that's not forgiveness then. They did something. Now you punishing them. You like, all right.
It's not even the fact that they didn't shoot, but like, come on, bro, like.
You no longer
that's a point you gotta forgive to me.
Privileges you're not gonna have.
That's what I'm saying. That's not forgiveness, bro.
Being I'm heartbroken.
What is the definition of forgiveness?
Babies, bro.
Forgiveness is you forgiving them, you forgetting what they did. Like you forgiving them, especially your kid. You can't punish them. You can't be like, no, I'm not walking back that hard.
You can't punish them, though.
That time don't mean nothing.
Why? Like, what's the?
I'm saying you have points to heal. At some point, you gotta forgive. You have that point to be mad. Like he went after. He was like,
so if your wife cheated on you, stay with her.
I would never expect that from you.
For real, I'm being real.
I already said that, bro. What you said? You locked in.
Okay. So
I'm gonna walk in. Oh, all right, bro. It's time to go home because it's my wife. I'm gonna walk. When we married, we locked in.
For real? Okay.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, you saying that.
And then everything go back to normal.
Oh, of course.
No, you need to heal.
You gotta heal. You gotta heal.
Therapy, counseling, God, forgiveness. That's if you choose. Because, I mean, it does say that if, your spouse commits adultery, then that is a means for divorce. So technically, no, you don't have to stay with her. But if you choose to do that, then you have to forgive.
But there's no norm after that.
Because like you gotta think of it like a biblical standpoint too. Like God forgive us all the time. It's not like I'm not gonna bless Mark no more. I'm not gonna do this to Mark no more because I forgive Mark, but I'm not gonna do this and do that for Mark no more. That's like saying that's the same thing you said. I forgive you, but I'm not.
Moses didn't make it into the promised land.
Had that privilege. Did Moses go to heaven though?
But on earth, we talking
about
no.
He's still showing him.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
But stuff was still withheld from him.
Kid, though.
That's what I'm saying. He forgave him. He loved him. That's his children. But something was still withheld from him for his action.
That's not forgiveness.
That's forgiveness.
Let's throw a wrench in this, can I? Mm-hmm. So since I'm a woman here and I'm a special guest today, what if the roles were reversed? Right? And it was the man who cheated and the lady found out after 29 years. Mm-hmm. And the situation with the children.
If the roles were reversed,
then what would you guys expect her to do?
I have daughters. Mm-hmm. No matter what the relationship is with my daughter, they're always going to be on that mom's side because
what if you had sons?
Or sons.
If it's sons,
the whole thing reversed. Sons.
I feel like it's going to have the mindset that we have of like saying like, yeah, like we in a sticky situation right now, we in a sticky situation. But if it's like the daughters, I think the daughters is gonna take the mom's side, and then I think like the son's gonna be in that neutral position, kind of. But if it's the daughters, a woman's always gonna feel for a woman at the end of the day, no matter the age or what it is. The woman's always gonna feel for a woman. So I feel like. Huh?
I was gonna say we talked about that too, like that story with Clay, right? Mm-hmm. His dad was taking him to go cheat on his mom, and that kind of like messed him up.
Yeah, it did mess him up. Yeah,
but I don't think she ain't cut him off.
No, but
she forgave him and she probably stayed.
But he didn't cover for his dad. He just didn't say nothing. So he was like,
they were covering. They were accomplices.
They literally
it's still kind of the same thing, dude. So that your dad was taking you to cheat, bro. Like, oh, what your dad did? I'm sure the mom asked, like, what your dad did today? Oh, yeah, we went to the park. Went to McDonald's. So like that. That's like covering.
And the woman is expected to stay.
That's like covering though.
Me personally, I don't think the woman is expected to do nothing. Whatever action she decides to do is the right action for her.
Okay.
It's.
I don't think there's any expectation on top of that.
It's made
no faking.
It's made in history that the woman is always gonna like get that second chance or whatever. But I don't think that's the norm. Yeah, I don't think that's the norm. I think
for women.
At all, like I don't
it should. I don't think it should be like the
for any party.
Whatever happened for your situation,
yeah, you move accordingly. You move accordingly. for how you feel in that situation. But I hate seeing that thing where like, oh, it's geared towards like, oh, woman always gotta give a second chance or anything like that. It's not. If you give me a second chance, I'm thankful for it. You feel that? But if you don't,
and we typically do.
If you don't, I truly understand why you don't.
Cause so you changing your stance on that, like if you married, you find out your wife cheat, you leaving her.
Yeah, the conversation got a little softer.
Listen, I'm lost to the world. My boy.
What that be?
Men can't handle it. Women cheat. No faking.
Look, it's gonna get so bad. She gonna leave me. As a man, I'm not gonna have to leave. She gonna leave me.
I will fully stand by that.
She gonna leave.
I can never handle that.
I tell you right now, only way I'm walking away from infidelity platonically,
if we're in a relationship now,
if I ain't put no ring on your finger, I put a ring
and I
on
feel
your
like
finger.
I'm not walking away, bro.
And I do feel like
I never said I was walking away. She leaving me. She leaving me.
Why she leaving?
why she like that too though?
Wait, hold on. Why she leaving?
We got too many years invested, so 9 times out of 10 we just gonna sit there and look dumb.
Why she leaving?
Or maybe not.
Why she leaving?
Yo, work heard your down. Yeah. Find out it's true. Yeah. It's gonna get to the point where like, oh my, your husband's so embarrassing.
She gonna have to take it like, man,
your husband's so embarrassing.
she gonna have to defend you.
I'm begging. I'm in random DMs. Yeah, I'm begging in there just for the plot. What? Bro, I'm trying to find the most problematic dom, bro. Get them pregnant, so now you gotta share kids. Like you got your siblings, bro.
You trying to be able to shave me everywhere, bro. That's crazy.
Bro, she gonna be so embarrassed, bro.
Nah, as a man though, I can't. I'm not
walking away from my marriage.
Yeah, I'm not walking away.
I'm out of what I have though.
Man, once we locked in, we married. I'm not walking away.
What?
But if we dating, now you cheat.
Just know I don't want to hear nothing from you.
That goes to another topic, right?
I'm not living in an environment like that, bro.
Why not?
I can't live in an environment like that.
She'll be heartbroken, crying every day, boy.
I can't even tell you the truth.
I'm done, man. If that was to happen to me, bro, on real, all my homeboys that's in marriages, they can't hang with me no more.
I'm not in an environment like that.
What? Bad timing, bro. I don't want that for you, bro. Because when we go out, bro, you gonna see some craziness, bro.
We said it like
All these
go out for drinks. Why these dogs here, bro? What's the drinks?
I'm looking for the dogs that's ready to fight.
You went to the hood, but like this stemming from the same kind of topic, right? So there's this YouTuber. He's dating this girl basically. Like she had like stepkids, and come to find out they've been lying, saying that the mom been teaching them, coaching them like to lie, like oh. He been beating my mom, or he's been touching us, like to lie and stuff like that. So do you feel like those type of women should be jailed?
Yeah, 100%.
And so you know that woman
because like there's no repercussion for them, so it's easy for them to manipulate the kid to make the kids make up lies.
It reminds me of another story. A father he had 3 to 5 daughters, or whatever, right? And they were together for a little bit. Then the co-parenting wasn't working, and the mother hated him. Right?
Yeah.
Then the mother made them believe that he used to touch them. So she kept on planting that in their seeds. So they resented him for 15 years. And I don't know if he got locked up or not, but like the relationship with them and the father was terrible. And then they started, as they got older, the truth came out, and they rekindled with their father and realized that, bro, our mom was lying to us this whole time because she had a personal vendetta against him, and all of them, when they got older, cut off the mom, and they now they're rekindling the relationship with the father because the mom manipulated all of them.
That's fair.
But it's like, how you have that much kids with somebody, but it's like I don't care what's your problems with the person. Why are you bringing the kids into it?
Yeah, bro. More story, bro. Who get the kids with the line of fire now.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
I'm still on the day with the daughters, bro.
I'm saying that's why, like,
line of fire.
Because you don't know how long she been doing that.
They might have not wanted to be there, but you in the line of fire now. Like, it's free game. It's up.
That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't be like treating the kids bad or.
It's up.
It's understand to be
it's
hurt,
up.
but you don't know what type of story she might tell the kids.
They had that age.
I'm going to dinner with my boss. I know your dad is a jealous person. He might not understand. Can you guys cover for me?
They're old enough.
They probably don't know. That's what I'm saying. You know what I don't want? You don't say she's a manipulator.
I hear you. But you know what doesn't work? The fact that you had the gall to utter, you're going to leave, throw away 29 years over one little mistake?
That part is
I think that part is crazy, right?
The younger daughter, she was going.
No, the younger daughter. I ain't gonna lie. It'll be easier to rekindle with the younger daughter.
Yeah,
If you're like, I was just going with the flow, pops. Because like I low-key got a glimpse of what it looked like when you the only male in your household, bro. With your wife and a straight daughter. Sometimes the man don't got no say so, bro. It's like if you're not fixing nothing,
me, bro.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not fixing nothing, if you're not providing, and we gonna transition to that, they don't want to hear nothing you gotta say.
The younger daughter might have a chance, but with the older daughter, it's up fast.
But the older daughter, she might not even know the whole story though. It might be like, I gave her the dinner. I went to dinner. Your dad is like tripping. You feel me? That's probably the story that the mom is telling her. She like, what? You made a little mistake. Like she probably hitting like the dad. She made a little mistake.
It's funny though.
That's probably what happened.
It's funny that you bring that because that reminds me of another situation that was crazy. And this is a grown man, right? A grown man. I promise he probably like in his late 30s, 40s. He was in the car, front seat, talking to his dad. Right, and he's snapping on his dad. Right, the dad stayed with the mom, wanted to be a good guy. He's snapping on his dad. He said, "Oh, how can you do this? You do that. You always had some type of distance." And then the dad said, "The reason I was like this is because your mom stepped out on me, and had a kid in our marriage." In our race, and then he's snapping. He's like, "Don't ever talk about my mom like that, because if that's the truth, where's the child? You are the child.
Yeah,
I'm not your real father, but we kept it from you because I wanted to make this work." And in his head,
the kids don't do no wrong.
And I believe that.
Kids don't know the full story.
I believe that. But you can see when they don't know the full story.
Yeah,
he clearly didn't know the full story. But to try to make me accept something that is clearly morally wrong, no matter daughter, son, none of that. As a person, if a man did that to you, it would be crazy. But your mother did it to your father, and you say it's okay. Because I've seen people pick sides because of who they care about more. Like I had a homeboy, he was picking his mama's side, but I'm like, you don't even know the situation.
That's what I'm saying. They don't be having the full story, bro. Like people don't be having the full story. It's the one that you closest to. You're closer. You don't tell you all the story. They won't tell you all the story.
I agree.
It's up with the older daughter, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Because even in that situation, he told the younger daughter, "I'm gonna contact you when I compose myself and control myself." The other daughter, you really gonna throw it away though? Like man up. Like she pretty much said man up.
Vice versa too. It should be up. Like. If the kids involved, like as a son, it should be up, bro. It's up. If I went and told my mom some bullshit like, "Oh, you gonna really leave dad over this?" It gotta be up. It gotta be up. I couldn't imagine myself going to my mom telling her that.
But it kind of sounded like they still manipulating the she was still manipulating the situation though, because how you know they was texting, because she went back like, oh,
she went back to text. That's what I'm saying.
So she probably still kind of sounding
at a certain age. You know right from wrong, fam. So at a certain age,
but if you don't know the full story,
if you still get manipulated, if you still not reading in between the lines and you're not seeing like
that's
how your mom
it's best not to get involved in like the situation.
But you said it's the same thing.
I'm saying though, it's best not to get involved. Like once that situation happened, it's best not to get involved. I wouldn't been text at all.
Like, the older daughter answered herself then. She answered herself when she said, "Oh, are you really gonna leave?"
Yeah, that's what she did.
At least the younger daughter was like, the younger daughter was like, "I'm sorry." Like you genuinely, I'm sorry. Yeah, and that leads me to, this is not a question today, but it just had a question that I wanted to ask. Pretty much, what are the benefits to a man being a provider and a leader?
What you think, Jazz?
Well, I have a couple thoughts, but I think one, a lot of times when we think about provider, we think just financially. And I think that is the part where there's, I guess, a little bit of a battle between men and women. So I think for me, when I think about provider, it's not just financial. It's about how are they providing for me on a spiritual level, maybe a mental level. How are they, how are we taking care of each other, right? Because it's not just a one-sided thing. But I don't know, for me, it just goes much deeper than finances. We can make the money, but like, how are you providing in other areas? Areas that money can't buy.
Can you give more context to
But
that?
what would be
saying?
what is the benefit to a man for being that?
Yeah, well, I think when you create an environment for a woman, when you're a leader, right? When you are leading in a way where she feels safe, right? And I think that's number one for me, safety. How do I feel safe with you emotionally, physically, all of those things? I think the rest follows. So I think the perks are that, one, you get a woman who opens up in a way that she probably has never been able to open up before to a man. So that includes, obviously being submissive. It includes, I think when I'm with a man and he makes me feel that way, I'm making sure he's straight all around. You are seeing a different side of me, whether it's making sure you have food or you, oh God, I need a little bit of time to think through this, but I think you just open a different portal of me that is way more nurturing. It's caring. It's just continuously being there for him and being his support system so that he does feel safe with me and he's able to go out and tackle the world and do what he has to do. So I don't know. I think when you have a man who's providing in different ways, it ignites that real feminine energy in a woman, and she's able to be like the full person that she's able to. Maybe she's not able to be that with certain men, but with you, because you're coming in, you're making her feel safe, you're providing in different ways, not just financial. She's able to grow into this woman and be this woman who she wants to be.
What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, I'm gonna touch on some of the stuff you said after. I want to hear from you.
Bro, what's your thoughts though?
Ask the question.
I don't.
What I'm gonna say is it's just, I think that more so puts us in the light of how God wants us to lead our woman, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm more so thinking of it as in like a spiritual way.
Yeah.
Of just God put man on earth to lead, basically, like to lead their family, lead their children, lead their wife, stuff like that. So, I'm thinking of it in that aspect. That's the only benefit that I could really
what is the benefit though?
Of just being in the light of God, being trying to mimic God or not mimic him, but just walk in the light that he wants you to walk in, basically. That's what I'm thinking. It's just.
Yeah, I love that.
Other than that, it's just when you say benefits, are you saying
Because to me, I never thought about it like that, because I don't do it for, or wouldn't think to do it for as a benefit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I get something in return, oh, that's nice, but I don't do it for that. So I never thought about it that deep.
And I'm glad you say that, because so when it comes to being a provider, a leader, etc., as a man, a lot of women tend to pretty much throw that as a man in a sense of oh, don't you want this title? You got to do this so you can get this title. Don't you want this title? Like it's a title that we're craving to get some kind of glorification, some gratification from it. But a man who is aligned with God and is situated is doing that not because it comes with something, right? Mm-hmm. But because that's just what's in my calling to do. And right. I bring that up because, this was in jest and playing around and stuff, but I was with my girl and her homegirl, and we was walking. And they were like, "Oh, you the man? Ain't you supposed to do?" I was like, "You supposed to be the leader, right? You the man." And then I said, "Okay, stop walking." They kept walking. I said, "How am I supposed to be the man and the leader if y'all keep walking? I'm not worried about y'all. I'm only worried about my girl. Period. That title means nothing from me coming from somebody outside of my covering and my protection." Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So when I say the perks, realistically, it's the thankless job. Right? And this goes back to something we was talking about off camera. It was like, oh, why do men get glorified for doing things that women are already doing? Because 9 times out of 10, it falls out of the scope of the requirements that most men believe that they should have. right? For me personally, I don't want to fall into no gender norm. So like, I know how to braid hair. And I learned specifically so when I have a daughter, I can help with doing her hair or getting her ready in the morning.
I love that.
Right?
Partnership.
But a lot of men like, oh, that's for a woman. I'm not going to do that. So I may get glorification like, oh, snap, your daddy did your hair? Even though mommy do the hair every day and they don't clap. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I get no gratification from being a provider, being a leader, because and 9 times out of 10, it's the thankless job. And you just got to be cool with that.
That's why that's another thing to like, like when they be like, like the woman's supposed to cook, clean, all that stuff.
Yeah,
like, I don't believe in that. Like,
I know how to do all that.
Like if I don't have a woman by my side, I need to know that I'm able to take care of myself and my situation right now, you know? And, God forbid, like, I have my woman on my side, we have kids, and then something happens to her. I need to know that I'm able to take care of my household. Like, I'm able to keep my household still keep my household one, without her by my side,
Yeah.
So it's like, all that. I feel like back then they try to like normalize all these gender roles, but it's like I don't think that's how God envisioned it for us. Like I don't believe that's how God envisioned it. Like it's just like we're all supposed to take care of something in the household, or like we're all supposed to have a role in the household, but it's like not specific roles. Like, oh, my wife has to wash dishes, I don't wash dishes, or my wife has to clean, I don't clean, nothing like.
Things have changed. This might be controversial, right? So if all the roles are intertwined, like, why do you need the other gender for?
So boom, let me break it down. So the way I view all of this, right? I see
no faking.
Go ahead. I see where you're going with this, but with me specifically, and I can only speak for me as a man, the way I view a lot of these quote unquote gender roles, right? In anything you do, you can't have 2 number ones.
No.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Wait for it. But in certain instances, if this is a man leading role, I'm number 1, but my wife my number 2, my supporting role. Like let's say,
Amen.
Let's say cooking. My wife, she may be number 1, but supporting role. I can step in whenever. You know what I mean? Even if we take it back to anime, we talk about One Piece a little bit, right? The captain, he tough, he taking everything down. But just because the captain's not around, that don't mean the shit they done.
His crew members gotta be on that.
Yeah, the co-captain gotta be on. Co-captain damn near on par with the captain.
And that's a partnership.
That's a partnership.
Chef, though. Somebody that's a main chef.
Exactly.
And it should be the man. I think that's what's in alignment with God.
We talking about like God, right?
Even with the crew.
In the beginning, right? He already like laid out the blueprint, like as far as like what Eve is gonna do. The man is gonna work and provide, and the woman is gonna be basically take care. Yeah, a helper. Take care, like the kids, have the kids, take care of the home and things like that, right? So I feel like where society is kind of going away from that, where everything is becoming like more fluid, meaning like now is folks saying that I don't need this person because I can do this and I can do that, and the other side saying I'm a strong black woman, or the guys are saying like, oh, I'm a what they be saying again? I'm a high value man. Yeah. This yada 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 yada. You feel me? Like, so it's becoming like everything becoming like so fluid, and they breaking like the home that we're supposed to come together and build together.
It's not enough humbleness going around that when like people think like that. Like, I think that it should always be like Brett said, it should like, if I'm number 1 right here, I'm number 1, and I need to know that if I'm not able to be number 1 at that moment, my number 2 could step up to number 1.
Partnership.
It should be the same, vice versa. Like, if my wife is number 1 in this position, if my wife is not here, like I said, if something, God forbid, happened to my wife, she needs to know that at the end of the day, our kid's gonna be good. We gonna be straight, and I want her to know that also, vice versa. Like, if something happens to me, I want her to know, or feel like, yeah, everything's gonna be good. Like, we've done this before. Like, this is something that we planned for, you know.
And so, like I said, No, I was gonna say, and to go back to your initial question, right? I was actually watching a sermon which was very powerful. It was like the plan doesn't define the purpose, and what that means is, right? Just because the plan failed, that don't mean the purpose was changed.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, the first plan to fail. Don't shoot me for it. The plan that God said initially, because when He first put Adam by himself to tend for everything, that was the original plan. Mm-hmm. Then He realized, He's like, "Whoa, wait a minute, this is too much for one man to handle by himself." Right? So showing us that we need each other. Right? God,
say it again.
We need each other. So no matter if you can get it done, because God created Adam to get everything done by himself. He could. Yeah. But to do it and go through life by yourself, God seen that it wasn't optimal. Right? So the purpose didn't change, but He adjusted the plan, which is why He gave Eve and gave him as a helper and a partner.
Okay.
Taken from his own rib.
So why have we
placed her right next to him, so that she would be able to also help Adam through his journey. So, and Adam helped her through her journey, basically. So at the end of the day, like you said, we need each other at the end of the day, and we can't stray from that. There's no straying from that at all.
Yes.
We need each other at the end of the day.
Yes.
Are you going to say something, Jess?
Yes, men need women and women need men. People think I'm crazy when I say no. I need a man. Sure, I'm good by myself. I can hold my own financially, etc. But no, I need a man. And I think men need women. We are each other's helpmates. And I think when you have that partnership, your life literally can go from the bottom to the top just because you have a solid partnership with the right person. I wanted to go back to the provider and the man being a thankless job. It shouldn't be a thankless job. And I think for me, whenever I've been in partnerships, I've always made it a point and an effort to show through my actions, whether it's something small like me bringing you lunch or me giving you, you mentioned these sneakers, or, just massaging you. And whatever it is, I've always made a point to let them know I appreciate you. As small as the gesture may be, it's just me showing I appreciate you, and you are the leader. And I think we have to do a better job at appreciating our partners and the strengths that they bring to the table, right? I think the other piece is, how have we gotten so far away from what God has designed for us as both women and men, right? Because women, in this society, we're crashing out, we're talking back, we're doing all these things, and then men are going so far away from the provider mindset. So are we in a really lost world, in a lost place where we're no longer putting God's word first, and we're no longer reading and trying to be in alignment with where He wants us to be? How do we have more of this so that we can have better partnerships and helpmates, I think we're so far removed from that in this culture right now.
And I would say the first thing to always keep in mind is that this world is pretty much the domain and the playground of the enemy.
Yeah.
Right? So everything is not everything, but majority of the things are rooted to go against God, right? Because that's why in Scripture it says, let the wicked enjoy their plunders on earth, because this is just temporary. All of this is temporary. And when God creates the new earth and the new heaven, that's where the people that was able to stay firm in the devil's playground actually get to flourish.
So good.
So because, and a lot of people tend to think that the devil run hell, etc. No, he's going to be burning right with us. So it's like, when you about to get in trouble, you got that sibling, let me get my sibling in trouble too, so at least I'm not by myself. Yeah. That's what the enemy is doing.
God is young.
You feel me? That's why the enemy, everything you see is rooted into that, and you got to stay firm. That's why all these agendas and propagandas of all these things, you see they only mainly attack Christian principles and Christian standards, because if I can make you go against that and poke fun at it and make lighthearted of it, then the masses tend to not take it as serious than it really is. But it's a serious game, and it's deeper than life or death, because it's life or death in the spiritual aspect.
Amen.
And I was gonna say too,
Amen.
The devil has a lot of tactics with like breaking that dynamic, like starting like with the feminist movement, you know, songs, music coming out. She got her own car. She don't need no. Like those type of songs. They stuck in your head. You like, we have like women that's taking their career. They focus on their career. They're like, I'm gonna get as much degrees as I can. I don't need no man. I'm gonna provide for my own self. I don't need no man. And we got like even the government with child support and stuff like that. Is you get more child support. You get Medicaid if the man is not in the house. Yeah. So there's a lot of tactics the enemy is using, and the more we're not recognizing it, like you said, we're not going back into our word. The more leverage he has. And the more we going far away from God, basically.
A lot of people don't realize this is the devil playground, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's free to do whatever he wants. He could tempt people however he wants. Mm-hmm. You know, at the end of the day, God is just looking for men, or for us on earth to still, no matter how blurry the picture gets, to still stay focused right on him. You know, at the end of the day. So the depth, like, even going back to your favorite story, Job. God gave the devil every opportunity to try to steer Job away from God, away from him. Every opportunity, he gave him every opportunity. What Job did, stay solid at the end of the day. No matter he was about to fall, but he did it because he realized, like, oh, it's a way bigger picture. Like, no matter how blurry the picture was, he still had his mind focused on what really mattered, and it's just the light of God. It's like the light of God.
And like to close off, like going back to the Adam and Eve, like Adam wasn't running his camp right, so Eve was tempted. So Adam wasn't being the leader that he was supposed to be. She got straight away. He should have never been alone. He should have never been alone with that snake. You feel me? So he was running his camp right. She got tempted. Now we here. So we gotta, as men, we gotta put our foot down and lead the household. You feel me?
And in a sense, but Eve should have went back to Adam first. At least, like,
but like you said, if you don't lay that foundation, if you let too much things slide, you'll down feel like she could play with you. You know what I mean? Yeah, so she don't view you as if she don't view you as top dog and she do whatever. Is gonna be destructive. Even the scripture says, bro, it's better to be in the desert with no water than to be in the house.
I just read that last night. I just read that last night.
Once y'all start quarreling, let me just take my bag and go to that desert. Let me go to the attic, because it's not gonna work.
Facts.
And remember, after they did what they did, after they sinned, God was like, the woman gonna strive to be like the man, but she's not gonna be like the man, because we see that now, like women trying to be like the head or the leader of like the household, and that dynamic sometimes, most of the time,
it doesn't work
out. It doesn't work out, and it says that he told us that was gonna happen, like, and we don't follow that. We trying to do our own thing, stick to our own principles.
Because the main problem comes because genders are worried about equality versus equity, right? We're not equal, period. But we are both as important.
Yeah, we bring the same thing. We bring 100% to the table each.
We don't bring the same thing, so we're not equal in that standing. But the equity of the things, right? We both, it's two halves of a whole.
Like you said, we need each other.
We need each other. Yeah.
But I want to take it to the question of the day. And I'm glad we have a female perspective. Kinda. No, I know. No, the only reason I said kinda, because I was thinking about like how like pivotal a female point of view to this question would be. Then when I thought about the whole question, it was really gender specific to men. But so the question is, would you want your daughter to date a man just like you, all your flaws, all your positive, you yourself? Would you want your daughter to date a man exactly like you, or would you want your son to go through everything you went through in your life?
You know, I ask men these questions when I go on a date.
Really?
I ask, would you want your daughter to date a man like you, where you are currently right now?
What do you get? What do you get?
A lot of times, they'll say yeah. And then some actually have been honest and said, you know what? No, because I'm still working on myself. And I said, well,
So
actually,
I date with you then.
Well, you know what? I'd rather a guy who's honest and
No,
say.
I'm saying like, would you say like, why you on a date with me then?
No, I would say, well, I appreciate you sharing that. Like, you know, what makes you, and then I'll ask a follow-up question. So maybe I would ask them, like, what are they currently working on if they're comfortable with sharing? You know what I mean? But I think there's something about a man who's open and honest to say, hey, I'm working on things. I'll take that man over the man who says yes, because he's probably the one who's not aware of the things that he has to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thinking hard, ain't it?
I'm
That boy been, hey, I can't see y'all can't see the background legend, but as soon as I asked that question, he was like this the whole time.
Nah,
Buying his liver.
nails and everything though.
to think about it though, like I would. It's either or.
Yeah, one or the other. Or let's come back to you.
I would say date. I want my son to experience better than me. So I would say like.
But he can experience a better life. He just would have to go through everything you went through in that time frame. Like everything that you went through up until now.
It could be either or for me. I don't feel like my life been like
Hard.
Like hard or rough.
So you locking on that.
Like I was in like dodging bullets or anything. Like,
You was.
I feel like I live.
It's crazy.
I did that.
It's crazy how you could be like you grew up in the same household, same.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, one time I did
Dodging bullets, yeah, but still wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad though. I feel like.
Nah,
I had a 2-parent household, you know.
I had my daughter date someone like me.
Okay.
To elaborate on it, like I feel like but at the end of the day, I think I would want my daughter to be in line with someone that has like a heart that thinks like me, I guess, or like a heart mind like me, So.
Cool.
So what was after you locked in on? You got people.
Yeah, I rather my daughter date somebody like me.
Okay. So
So
in regards to my daughter dating someone like me, that's what I pray for. In the sense of, I know how I treat women. I know how I care for someone who is under my protection. I know how I always work on building them up and working together because I have worked on myself so much. But to pick an answer, I would say I would want my son to go through what I went through because
I'll pick that.
everything I just said that I would want my daughter to deal with, and a man, I only developed that through what I went through.
Yeah, I'll pick that.
But
me too.
Okay. I would say like it's different character traits.
This is good, guys.
Your son's not gonna have every character trait that you had. Or your son might not take every situation or everything that you went through the same way you took it,
Because it's based on mindset.
But it's a lot of situations I've been through that made me develop that mindset.
Understandable, right? But like I said, like your son might not have like there might if we tweaking the question a little bit, your son might not have that same mindset that you had when you was going through those things.
So let me and I know you're saying this because you have a nice picture of my upbringing. So I know why you're saying that to me specifically, and I get it. However, you got to understand, if I had to pull my son out of his life from like, let's say after 5 or 10, and then he dealt with everything I went through after that, he probably wouldn't make it. But if he went through it in the same succession as me from birth, I wasn't born thinking like I was.
Yeah.
Everything I went through cultivated and developed and molded me like forged me. I really feel like I was forged in fire and made me the man that I am today.
What if he grew up to be a villain, bro?
That's what I'm saying,
bro. Because you could
like, what if he took your situation
all the way
and he turned
like a hero and a villain? Sometimes they be from the same situation, bro.
I'd
one of them become a hero and the other.
I'd rather have my
villain.
daughter have the easy. My daughter has the easy way out because I know how I am. I know who I am as a person. My daughter has the easy way out.
All right, let me say this though. Mm-hmm. Whoever set out the hero?
That's another thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Whoever set out the hero. Whoever set out. Because if we being real, when I break down a hero and I break down a villain, the biggest difference between the hero and the villain that I see is the hero is willing to put the many over the one. The villain is willing to put the one over the many. And about minds, we going to war about it. You see what I'm saying? Like, but the masses, like I said, that little analogy that I gave, you feel me? Oh, you supposed to be the leader, you the man, you the only man in the group. You supposed to. None of y'all my concern. I'm only worried about minds. You see what I'm saying?
Like that.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like I don't even claim the hero title. You feel me? So to say he might be the villain, I don't even claim that because there's a lot of things that won't happen to me because certain things happen to me.
Was Jesus a hero?
To some and to others, he was a villain. That's why they put him to death. You see what I'm saying?
I wanna resemble as much as I can as Jesus.
But
and in our eyes, I feel like in our eyes and every Christian eyes, Jesus is the hero. At the end of the day.
He is. But he fits my description as a hero though. Mm-hmm. He sacrificed the one to save the many. Mm-hmm. Right? I can live my life to be emulated Jesus as much as possible. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I am still a flawed human working on myself.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a lot of different areas that I fall short in, right? And I know that. And there's some people they try to tell me about myself. I already know that. I self-reflect a lot. I know where I fall short. So when you bring something to me, yeah, you're right. And you've seen that through some of our conversations. Mm-hmm. But like somebody could bring something to you, and you could be like, the Mark do be doing stuff like that. I ain't gonna hold you. And then they bring something else. What? You're looking at them crazy, mm-hmm. right? Both could be good or bad, but I know myself. You see what I'm saying? And I never claim to be good or perfect on the standard of the world. Mm-hmm. As long as I continue to stay in my word, I may stumble, I may fall, but as long as I stay in my word and I do my best to follow the word of God, that's all I could do. Mm-hmm. Because in the sense of actions, we will never be perfect. Mm-hmm. We're only perfect by the grace that he has provided to us. So we're perfect in his eyes, right? Mm-hmm. But because we're perfect in his eyes as his creation, that does not mean we still don't have attachments to certain sins or certain faults or certain agendas that don't align biblically. You just got to keep working on it. Because we sin every day. That doesn't mean we live in sin, but as humans, we sin every day. Once you think it, you have committed it. Jesus said that. You look at a dime and you, I would have did that to her. You did it. In his eyes. Mm-hmm. So we sin every day. You can't escape that. But you could always make that effort to choose God. And as long as I'm doing that, I don't really care what people think about it. Mm-hmm. Hero, villain. I'm going to be a hero to some people here, a villain to some other people.
You got to be a villain to some people.
No faking,
man. You feel me? But
comment down below which one y'all choose, which question you want to choose. We appreciate y'all for tuning in every week. You feel me? As always. No faking, man.
No faking.